Hello everyone, welcome back to Mind the Gap. I'm Casey, and with me as always is Jen.
Hi there, good to be back. How are you feeling today, Casey? You sound a bit thoughtful.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been having this strange feeling lately. The more I study English, the worse I feel about it. I used to feel quite confident, but now everything I say sounds off somehow.
That's interesting. When you say sounds off, do you mean pronunciation or the way it feels when you speak?
Both, I think. Sometimes I hear native speakers talk and I just freeze. Like, what language is this? I know it's English, but somehow my brain just stops working.
That's actually really common. You're definitely not the only one who feels that way. Many learners reach the stage where they suddenly think, oh no, I'm getting worse. It isn't a real decline, it's just how progress feels sometimes.
Really? Because it feels very real to me. I used to listen to podcasts and understand most of them. Now I replay the same sentence 3 times and still doubt myself. It's kind of depressing.
I know, it's frustrating, isn't it? But that's actually a good sign. It means your brain is becoming more sensitive. You're noticing details you didn't notice before. When you're aware this grows faster than your skill, it can feel like you're going backwards.
That's oddly comforting. So what you're saying is, it's not that I'm worse, it's that I've become more aware of what I don't know.
Exactly. The better you get, the more you notice. It's like cleaning your glasses. Suddenly you can see every tiny scratch. It doesn't mean the world is dirtier, it just means your eyes are sharper.
That was such a good metaphor. I love that. So maybe I should stop panicking and accept that this messy stage is part of learning.
That's the spirit. The funny thing is, when you feel worse, you're usually improving underneath. You're just leveling up without realizing it yet. So, should we talk about those illusions that make people believe they're getting worse?
Yes, please. I really need to hear that right now. So, the first illusion is probably the one that drives me crazy the most, is when you realise you can't understand native speakers anymore. Like, what happened? I used to feel fine, but now every time someone from the UK talks, I'm completely lost.
Oh yes, that's a classic one. It feels like your listening skills just collapse overnight. But actually, it means you've started noticing all the little things that make real English different from what you hear in lessons.
Yeah, but honestly, sometimes it feels impossible. Like the other day, my British friend looked at me and said, "You're right." And I panicked. I thought something was wrong, like maybe I look sick or upset.
That's brilliant. I love how confusing that sounds to non-Brits. Because yes, you're right isn't really a question. It's just our way of saying hello. We say it all the time, sometimes even without waiting for an answer.
That's wild. So basically, you're not checking on anyone, you're just saying hi.
Exactly. And we've got plenty of those little expressions that can totally throw learners off. How's it going? You good? All right, mate? They all mean the same thing, really. It's just a casual hello. But each one comes with its own rhythm and tone.
And I guess that rhythm is what makes it tricky. Because I can understand every single word, but when they come together, I lose it completely.
That's exactly it. You're not hearing less, you're hearing more. Your brain is picking up new sounds, linking intonation to meaning. It's like suddenly noticing background noise that was always there. It's a bit overwhelming at first.
That makes sense. It's funny though, because I thought not understanding meant I was going backwards, but it's actually a sign of progress.
Exactly that. Think of it like leveling up your ears. At first, you only catch the clear bits, but now your brain is tuning in to the messy, natural parts of speech. The mumbling, the linking, the unfinished sentences. That's where real English lives.
So what you're saying is, I'm not failing, I'm just leveling up my ears. I like that. It sounds much less painful that way.
Exactly. And remember, the moment you start noticing confusion, it means you're paying attention. So next time a Brit says, "You all right?" just smile back and say, "Yeah, you?" and carry on.
Got it. I'll try that next time, though I might still panic a little.
That's very true. We do love a good pause. It gives the illusion of depth. So next time you feel yourself slowing down, don't panic. You're not falling behind, you're refining your voice.
That's reassuring. All right, let's see what other illusions we've got, because I'm sure there's more that make us doubt ourselves. You know what's funny, Jan? Sometimes I speak slower now than when I was a beginner. Back then, I'd just say whatever came out, even if it was totally wrong. Now I keep stopping to check if I sound natural or if I've just messed up the grammar again.
That's so relatable. I'd say you've moved into the self-monitoring stage. It's when your brain starts listening to what you're saying instead of just producing words. It might feel clumsy, but it's actually part of getting sharper.
Right, and that's exactly what drives me mad. Because in my head I'm thinking, oh no, I sound like a robot, or that sentence was awful. Maybe I'm slowly turning British, overanalyzing everything.
Well, we do enjoy overthinking a bit. But honestly, that's a good sign. It means you're not on autopilot anymore. You're noticing pronunciation, rhythm, word choice all at once. That kind of awareness takes effort.
That makes sense. Sometimes I literally feel my brain lagging, like an old laptop trying to open too many tabs at once.
That's a perfect description. When your mind feels slow, it's not shutting down, it's processing. I'd say your brain's doing an update in the background, reorganizing the way it handles English.
So the pauses aren't a bad thing then, they're just part of the update.
Exactly, and think about it like learning to drive. At first you just move, not caring how. Later you start noticing the mirrors, the gear, people crossing the road. Suddenly it feels slower, but it's safer, smoother, more controlled.
So I'm like a learner driver who's too busy checking the mirrors to enjoy the ride.
That's right. And with time, all those checks become automatic. That's when fluency really kicks in. It's not about racing ahead, it's about feeling in control of the road.
I like that image. So fluency isn't how fast you talk, it's how comfortably you think while talking.
That's exactly it. Real fluency is calm. You can pause, breathe, even correct yourself and still sound natural. A pause doesn't mean you're stuck, it means you care about clarity.
Now that you mention it, I've noticed a lot of British people take their time when they speak. Sometimes there's this long pause before they even finish a thought.
That's very true. We do love a good pause. It gives the illusion of depth. So next time you feel yourself slowing down, don't panic. You're not falling behind. You're refining your voice.
Slower, but smarter. I can live with that. You know, Jen, there was a time when I used to love studying new words. I'd make colourful flashcards, listen to podcasts, even repeat sentences just for fun. But lately, everything feels the same. Even podcasts sound boring, including mine sometimes.
Oh, that's very honest of you. And actually, I think a lot of people will relate to that. When something that used to excite you starts feeling flat, it's not because you've stopped caring, it's just that your brain's got used to the routine.
That's a relief, because I was starting to think maybe I've reached my peak, or maybe my brain's just gone on strike.
Not at all. What you're feeling is actually what we call a plateau. It's a normal part of learning. You've outgrown your old materials, but your brain hasn't found something new to be challenged by yet, so it rests for a bit.
So it's like when you've finished a TV series and suddenly nothing else seems interesting. You keep scrolling, but nothing hits the same way.
That's such a perfect comparison. Learning works exactly like that. It's like walking up a hill. There's effort, there's movement, and then suddenly the road flattens. It doesn't mean you've stopped climbing, you're just walking across a quiet stretch before the next rise.
that actually makes me feel better. I used to think I needed to push harder, like study more hours, learn more vocabulary, just to get that spark back.
It's a common reaction, but sometimes the trick isn't to push harder, it's to change direction a little. Try a new accent, a different show, a topic you've always wanted to explore. It's like giving your brain a new flavour.
So you're saying my brain's just bored of the same flavour of English, it wants something spicy now?
Exactly that. It's not lazy, it's just craving novelty. And once it gets that, you'll notice your motivation coming back on its own.
That's good to hear. Because for a while, I thought maybe English and I just needed a break from each other.
A little break never hurts. But don't quit completely. You're probably closer to your next breakthrough than you think. Just keep calm, keep going, and you'll get there.
Keep calm, you're getting there. I like that. Sounds very British.
Well, it's good advice for life in general, isn't it?
Absolutely. All right, I feel less guilty about my lazy days now. Thanks, Jen.
You know, Casey, the funny thing about learning is that the moments when it feels messy are usually the moments when your brain is doing its best work. When your brain starts to reorganize everything you've learned, it can feel like total chaos, but that's when real learning actually happens.
So basically, my brain's making a mess on purpose. That's slightly comforting, actually.
You could say that. It's like when you tidy up a wardrobe. Before it looks neat again, everything has to come out first. And there's that horrible middle stage where you're surrounded by clothes and you think, why did I start this? But then suddenly, it all fits better than before.
That's such a perfect picture. So that feeling of confusion isn't proof that I'm getting worse. It's just the middle of the cleanup.
That's right. When you knew very little, it was easier to feel confident because you didn't see how much you didn't know. But as you improve, your awareness grows faster than your ability. You start noticing your own gaps, and that feels uncomfortable. But it's actually awareness, not regression.
That makes so much sense. I guess that's why the more I learn, the more I doubt myself. It's not that I've become worse, it's just that I've started to see things more clearly.
That's the thing. Growth often feels uncomfortable. It's that slight tension between who you were and who you're becoming. And your brain doesn't like change, so it sends you those little warning signs that say, this feels wrong. But really, it's just rewiring itself.
So maybe feeling lost isn't failure. It's just growth in disguise.
I'd say so. Every learner I've worked with has that phase where they think, I used to be better. But what's really happening is they're starting to listen differently, think differently, even feel the language differently. That change is uncomfortable, but it's progress.
That's really encouraging. And I like what you said earlier about embracing imperfection. I think sometimes I try too hard to sound flawless, like I'm afraid of making mistakes.
We all do that. But you know, in Britain, we actually quite like imperfection. A bit of hesitation, a pause, a small laugh. It makes you sound human, not robotic. Real people hesitate, especially when they care about what they're saying.
That's comforting to know. I guess sounding human is a much better goal than sounding perfect.
That's absolutely right. You don't sound worse, you sound more aware. And that awareness is what turns a learner into a communicator.
That's beautifully said. So, messy brain equals progress. I'll take that.
That's the spirit. If your learning journey feels too tidy, you're probably not growing fast enough. A bit of chaos is healthy.
You know, after everything we've talked about today, I think I finally get it. So if you ever feel stuck, remember, it's not the end. It's just a quiet phase of progress. The kind that doesn't shout, but still keeps you moving.
That's beautifully said. And I think that quiet phase is where the real growth happens. It's when you stop chasing big results and start noticing smaller things, the way you think, the way you listen, even the way you pause before you speak.
Maybe we should all stop judging ourselves so harshly. We spend so much time worrying about sounding fluent, but hardly ever notice how much clearer we've become.
That's right. Notice, don't judge. Observe, don't panic. When you stop criticizing and start noticing, you realize progress isn't loud. Sometimes it whispers softly in the background. And if you listen closely, you'll hear it.
That's really comforting. So maybe progress isn't about doing more, it's about staying curious, staying patient, even when it feels slow.
That's such an important point. Sometimes progress just means you didn't give up. You stayed with English even when it got boring or confusing, and that's commitment. You don't lose progress when you rest, you lose it when you stop showing up.
Like any long-term relationship, really, there are quiet days, messy days, even days you want to quit, but you stay because you care.
Exactly. And, in Britain, we quite like the phrase, a work in progress. People here don't mind saying, I'm still learning. It's a gentle way of accepting imperfection, and it makes life and learning much lighter.
I love that. Being a work in progress sounds far kinder than trying to be perfect.
Exactly. So next time you doubt yourself, make yourself a nice cuppa, take a breath, and remind yourself you're getting there. Slowly, quietly, but surely.
So today we started with that fear, the I'm getting worse feeling. Then we found out it's not failure, it's awareness. We talked about confusion, boredom, and even silence. And somehow they all turned out to be part of progress.
That's a lovely summary. Progress in disguise.
I like that. And if this episode made you feel a bit better about your English journey, give us a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more.
We'll be back next week. Until then, keep calm and carry on learning.